I call it outtoeing. Some refer to it as outtoe gait. Many simply call them duck feet. No matter what it's called, you may have it or know someone who does. It's very common. My name is Dr. Andrew Schneider, and I'm a podiatrist in Houston, Texas. There are times when your feet pointing outwards is structural. It's the way the bones have twisted as you grow. In many cases, it's a sign of your feet compensating for other issues. In these cases, there are certainly things that can be done to straighten them out. And even better, there's no surgery involved. In today's video, I'll discuss the causes of duck feet and what you can do to get them pointing the right way. Before I do, let others know about these videos. Please like, comment, hit the subscribe button, and share on social media. This will help others find the information they need. What are duck feet and how do you know if you have it? The term duck foot refers to a postural deviation where one's feet are pointed outwards. In contrast, pigeon toe is when the feet point inwards. Don't know if you have it? Take off your shoes and march in place for 5 seconds and then stop. If your toes are pointing outwards, then you have an outtoe gait. Okay, duck feet. Before I discuss the treatable causes of an outtoe gait, let me talk about the reasons why you may have developed this habit. Actually, it's not a habit. There's nothing you did wrong to walk this way. One cause is your hip being in an external position. Your hip can be in an external position for a couple of reasons. One is that it hasn't fully twisted during development. This will lead to your knees being in an external position and will affect you all the way down to your feet. The other reason is tight hip flexors. This can be because of the position that you sat in when you were growing up. For instance, sitting with your feet behind you, with your feet pointing out, can cause your hip flexors to tighten. Hip flexors also respond to the position you're in when you're walking. If you have flat feet, you'll compensate with the hip flexors tightening. So walking like a duck can be because of tight hip flexors, but also can cause them to become tight. Sounds like a catch-22 to me. You can stretch your hips to help alleviate their tightness. Also, yoga is great for this as well. Just be mindful of the position your feet are in so you can get the full impact of the poses. Your knee can also be in an external position. This is usually due to external tibial torsion. This occurs when the tibia hasn't fully twisted when you've grown. This will cause the feet to be in an external position. Unfortunately, there are no good stretches for this. There are ways to compensate for it, however. This usually involves custom orthotics. Here's how you can tell if your hip or knee is responsible for your outtoeing. Sit at the edge of a high chair or a counter with your knees bent and legs dangling down. If your feet are straight, then you're in luck. Neither your hips or your knees are out of whack. If your kneecaps are pointing outwards, and so are your feet, then the issue comes from your hips or your femur. If your kneecaps are straight ahead, but your feet aren't, then it's coming from your tibia. Let's discuss what else it could be if it's neither of these. One reason is a lack of ankle motion, specifically the foot moving towards the leg. This motion is called dorsiflexion, and this syndrome is known as equinus. This is a very common condition. When you have limited ankle dorsiflexion, it can force the foot to externally rotate to compensate for the lack of mobility. It's tough to test for equinus yourself. It's really a two-person job. It also gets pretty technical. You're best off visiting your podiatrist if you're concerned that this is an issue. You can stretch your Achilles tendon to help with equinus. A common wall stretch is a good one. You know how to do it. Put your hands against the wall, shoulder width apart. Place the leg to be stretched behind you. Point your toes straight ahead. Bend your arms and lean into the wall. You'll feel the stretch in the back of your legs and hold it for a slow 10 count. There's a second part of this stretch when you bend your back knee slightly while keeping your heel on the ground. You'll feel the stretch shift to the Achilles tendon closer to your heel. Hold this also for a slow 10 count. The most common cause that makes you walk like a duck is when your feet overpronate. All of the reasons I've mentioned earlier can cause overpronation as compensation for those issues. Of course, you may simply overpronate and feel like you've been doomed with flat feet. When you overpronate, your feet still have to get you to where you're going. Because your feet don't let you take a dynamic step forward, they're forced to cheat. They rotate outwards and you roll off the side of your great toe joint. This is a very inefficient way to walk or run. The solution for flat feet from overpronation is using a custom foot orthotic. An orthotic is a specialized shoe insert made from a mold of your foot. The goal of an orthotic is to provide the compensation that your feet need. This will stop your feet from having to compensate themselves, thus straightening them out. When I put a child in custom orthotics, you can see the difference in minutes. Adults, they take a little longer since they've been compensating for a much longer time. But you will see results. The custom orthotics will help you stand and walk longer, run faster, and jump higher. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Please take a moment to like, comment, and share on social media. Be sure to hit subscribe so you won't miss another video. If you're realizing that you walk like a duck, you now know why that may be. To straighten out your feet or to stop any pain you may be feeling, come into the office and we can discuss the solution. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.